So I'm back to familiar turf. Got some Canadian geese flying along, making quite the racket. Now, if you're not from around here, you might find the Canada geese to be a somewhat majestic bird. You'll see them on a lot of Canadian promotional material. Come see the loons and the Canada geese, but I hate them. I absolutely hate them. They are dirty birds, they're noisy, they're no good to eat. You're not allowed to hunt them anyways. Actually, they're probably not that bad, but just not an option. And they shit everywhere. Just shit. So it's not a problem out here, but they'll find their way into urban areas and become quite the pest. They're somewhat akin to a pigeon or a rodent, as far as I'm concerned. My high school was right on a river, and they were an absolute nightmare. The football field was just slick with duck poop or goose poop. Couldn't even play football because every time we dropped it, you'd have to hose yourself off and sanitize the football. So I'd be quite happy if they just went extinct or just moved further north. You don't see any loons around here until you go about 4 or 5 hours north of here. I'd be happy if the Canadian or Canada geese went up there as well, so I could visit them when I wanted to and not have to deal with them otherwise. But they'll get quite aggressive in the spring. Right now you won't get anywhere near them, but in the spring they'll have the little baby duckies, and they'll actually stop flying for about a month. They'll stay on the ground the whole time they're raising their little babies, and they get quite aggressive. They will hiss at you, they'll bite you, they'll really mess you up if you let them. I've heard of little kids getting bruises all over them because they approached one thinking they could pet it, and it got defensive and started biting. Now they don't have teeth, but they can certainly pinch you pretty good and take quick little nibbles, and if you're a little kid, they'll knock you right over. They'll start flapping their wings and fly right into you, and they can be quite a menace. So once again, not what I'd consider to be a majestic animal. They're really quite annoying. So here I'm back at this nice view of the swamp. Not really sure what this thing here is, but I can hear running water. So I think this is actually a drain, because there is a dike all the way around this, just kind of holding it in. So really not even sure if this is natural or man-made. I think it has something to do with the Welland Canal they made, and they probably just rebuilt some of the wildlife to make sure they had a habitat. Not too far from here you'll find another place, the Wainfleet Bog, which is quite a bit bigger, much more swamp-like, and it's one of the few places in Ontario you'll find poisonous snakes. They've got the Massasauga rattler there. The only other spot you'll find it is in Massasauga Park and Bruce Peninsula, but those are quite a bit north of here, so it's very unusual to find poisonous snakes in this area, outside of that bog at least. Now, I haven't made it out there yet. I might go for a winter hike in a couple weeks, check it out. Right now I think it would be too swampy, but once it freezes up it shouldn't be bad at all. So this is basically the end of my little journey. Didn't even have to bust out the flashlight. Didn't even run into a single person or dog. So that's a nice little treat there. I hate running into people on the trail. I realize they're not building these trails specifically for me, but it's still nice to get them to yourselves every now and then. Alright, so just walking back to the trailhead, listening to the noisy highway, and still got a bit of sunlight left. Quite pretty looking right now. So there's the sun setting over there. Once again, that noisy highway. So I'm just going to recap here and figure out what I did. So started off here at the parking, came up the right side, and came up this path here through the marsh, up around here. Just going to take that trail, but that's the one that was blocked. So instead I came up this red trail, up to the edge of the canal there, followed that up, came back around down the perimeter, down this side, and then once I got back down to the parking lot, I kind of came up here about halfway, if that, and then turned back around. But I spotted a few markers out there. Didn't see that one, but I saw number 2, and it looked like a hunting blind, and I was a little confused because the signs clearly say no hunting, but if you come over here, it says they are hunting / wildlife viewing blinds. Hunting is allowed only from the blinds, so you can hunt under certain conditions. Here's the different trails. So I was mostly on the blue trail, which is the Blue Heron Trail. There is the Red Fox Trail. I did a bit of that one. And at some points it overlapped with the Yellow Warbler Trail. So that gives you an idea of some of the things you'll find in this area. I've seen a lot of yellow warblers and hooded warblers out in this area. Haven't encountered any foxes myself, but that tells me there must be some out here. Blue herons, I've seen plenty of those, but not in this area. So, once again, I encourage you to come check it out.